Hi, I'm Josh Curving, and welcome to another Death Battle prediction video, but first, Steven Universe versus Star Butterfly. This one was actually pretty good. I quite enjoyed the animation, especially for it being two characters that I don't particularly care much about. I actually really ended up enjoying the episode. Learning about Star Butterfly was kind of a wild trip. I'm kind of seeing that reaction a lot on YouTube, just of like people listening to just the story with Star Butterfly and being like, what the fuck is this about? It's pretty interesting. And the animation was really good. Felt bad. This one feels like we went into this one thinking that it was going to be Ben versus Hal 2, because the reaction from the Steven Universe fans was going to be vitriolic. But it didn't end up being Ben versus Hal 2. It ended up being Mob versus Tatsumaki 2, where one of the characters was just horribly outclassed, but they were the good boy, and it was sad to see them go. Yeah, Steven, it felt bad, kind of, especially the part where he's like getting rushed down by the bunch of like horses, and then he just like breaks down, goes pink state. Like, didn't feel good. Either way, though, everything was basically spot on for it. It was kind of weird how they like lowballed their physical stats, I guess. Like, I know I'm sure there's other things that you can use besides like a castle tower exploding, but oh well. So then we have next time the one fight. The fight that I did not want. Out of all of the teased episodes for this season, this is the one that I was looking forward to the least. I am a huge Legend of Zelda fan. I am somewhat more recently a solid Final Fantasy fan. I do think 7 is a little overrated, though that's more of just a personal thing than anything else. But my love for Zelda greatly outweighs how much I enjoy pretty much every Final Fantasy except for one of them. So when I saw this next episode, I thought, oh god damn it, why this one? Just because it's a stomp. It's just an unrepentant stomp against the one that I like. Which I guess is an entirely biased reason for not wanting an episode. I also just don't think it's very good. Like, in terms of the episode's actual theming, it was never good to begin with. The fight's not close. There's no theme other than RPGs. Like, they're not even the same style of RPGs, so it's not even like that. And the most you can say is, like, 30 years ago they were kind of rivals. Not even really, but I guess it's enough of a rivalry, I suppose, that like Smash Bros. Has referenced it. But yes, let's get into the absolute nitty-gritty, because for some reason there is a lot of weirdness when it comes to The Legend of Zelda with verses. Is it universe level? No, it's not. Well, technically, as a series, it is. The Golden Goddesses, they should be universal or multiversal. Easy argument. However, who scales to them? No one. No one does. Anyone who says, ooh, the Triforce is all of their power is wrong, because things like Link to the Past have stated in its manual, I believe, that the Triforce is a small but powerful portion of their power. So it's not all of it. We don't know how much it is. It's strong, sure, but that doesn't tell us anything. That doesn't tell us it's universal. So, Triforce is a bust. Then you have, this person made a realm. And, yeah, just, it has a sun. I don't think we've actually seen any made realms with like multiple stars. I think both Majora's and Demise's just had a single sun in it, and it's questionable whether or not they actually made those realms. If I recall, the Japanese translation of Demise's statement says that he brought Link there, not that he created the realm for them to fight, which is what the English one says. So that one's a bust. Majora, it doesn't openly say that he made the thing in the moon, and if anything, a lot of the guides and stuff like that, the official ones, state that it's an illusion created from the memories of Skull Kid. So that's a bust. So just all of these universal arguments are just kind of trash. So how strong is Link? Well, I think it's pretty reasonable to put him, and by the way, this is a composite Link. I fucking hate composite Link as a concept for Death Battle. I think that the only reason they are doing it is because it doesn't matter. If it was something like, say, Breath of the Wild Link versus Aloy from Horizon Zero Dawn, they would stick with Breath of the Wild Link because that's the theme and it's all that's necessary. Meanwhile, for this one, we are getting a composite Link because all of them put together get killed horribly. So how strong is he? Well, in A Link Between Worlds, the Triforce is capable of essentially destroying Lorule, which you can argue is about a planet or so. If you really, really want to highball it, like they did with Dracula versus Ganon, with Nehru's power, she made us the sun. So you could argue then that, cool, maybe the Triforce is star level or so. Won't matter at all. So then, speed. Most of the calculations you see are relativistic as the highest end. I've seen some get some of the the laser firing Guardians in Hyrule Warriors or what was it? Champion. The new one. I can't remember what it's called right now, but the new Hyrule Warriors game, Age of Calamity, right. So with that one, there was some laser timing stuff that people found. It's not expressly non-canon. If anything, it just makes a new timeline, so it should be okay. I don't see too much wrong with that. But yeah, so we're looking at about light speed and maybe planet to star level. Is that going to be enough to deal with Cloud? No, not at all. Bahamut Fury flew from outside the galaxy to the planet that Gaia, I think it is, within so little time, and so boom, welcome to, I think, trillions of times the speed of light. Actually, what was it? I think I have that on hand, actually. Yeah, it was 78 billion times the speed of light. My apologies. So yeah, 78 times. Oh, no, actually, no. 78 billion times is for a different character. Technically speaking, he might scale to that anyway, because Dissidia, but we'll get to Dissidia in a second, because that's a whole nother thing. Sorry, the Bahamut Fury flight was 17 million times the speed of light. Still more than fast enough to absolutely foderize Link. And how strong is he, and how durable? Well, solar system level. It's pretty blatant. There are possible universal arguments as well for him that are significantly better than Link's. If you go by the way that some summons have worked, it says that they actually destroy the realms that they are in, and they create them. So that could potentially be universal, and either way, the creation feats are far more impressive than the ones in Zelda, because most of the time they do actually have different galaxies and far off stars shown, things like that. So it's a lot better in terms of rationale. So just right off the bat there, the stats make Cloud absolutely clap. But then the abilities and stuff go even further with it, because for all the help that a composite link gives, it's not actually that much. For the most part, all you're doing with compositing Link is giving him more stuff in terms of, like, physical weaponry. Like, he doesn't actually have all that many, like, hacks, like, things like that. Like, oh, he got the ball and chain, that sure is going to turn the tide of this fight. It's not. There's so few abilities in Legend of Zelda that are construed as hacks. He has some time travel elements. Stasis isn't bad. Magnesis. But ultimately, there's just nothing that's gonna turn the tide of this fight. You could argue that he should be resistant to transmutation because of both the Moon Pearl from Link to the Past, which prevented him from turning into a bunny, and the Master Sword itself should resist transmutation, considering in Twilight Princess, once he got it, he could control the Wolf Link transformation. So turning him into a toad won't work. Good job, Link, you can resist that one. He can still absolutely get BFR'd by remove, just straight deaded. Cloud has Doom, and just, yeah, like, there's so many abilities that Cloud has that Link has no answer to, and Link does not have nearly the hacks in kind to respond. So every single category here is going to Cloud. And yeah, let's go balls to the wall here and say they do accept Universal Link, and let's assume then that the speed is equal. Sure, why not? Then what happens? Then you give Cloud the exact same lenience, and you give him Dissidia scaling. Now that would basically put him up a solid amount. There are other universal characters, but there's also way higher speed feats. Like Squall, for example, is the one who has the 38 billion times the speed of light feet from Eden's Eternal Breath attack. And there are also a few possible multiversal characters, namely Bart's. I'm currently looking into Bart's as part of another thing, but it's possible that he killed a multiversal threat in Neo X Death. So scaling to that, Cloud would still be stronger. Now, I personally disagree with Dissidia scaling. I've seen quite a bit of deliberation on whether it's valid, but a lot of the logic that's used to say that it's canon is fairly self-reliant and a bit kind of lackadaisical, in my opinion. Basically, people say, like, the director of the project said it has the spirit of a main series Final Fantasy game, so it should be canon to all of them for some reason, because that totally means that. And then there is people using logic to try to explain why some of the inconsistencies don't work, because Dissidia has a lot of inconsistencies. Like, for example, Kuja being able to trance as he does, Kefka and Terra having access to magic, even though Dissidia would be taking place after their adventures, Titus being there, though whether it would be after 10.2 or the novella would be another question. If it was after the novella, then that'd be a whole nother inconsistency. Don't look up the Final Fantasy 10, like 10.2x 2.5, I think it's called, novella. It's so bad. And then the one that people can't explain, just straight up cannot. I've seen people attempt to explain the other ones, but you cannot explain that Cecil goes between Dark Knight and Paladin. That is just so canon breaking that it just does not work. He literally killed his dark side. That is the whole point. And so just a lot of things in Dissidia do not work from the characters' perspectives. I don't think that it's valid. You could potentially argue that it's valid for the FF1 Warrior of Light, but you would essentially treat it as each of the characters that are brought in are a Dissidia version of them. A lot of series have the same thing, it's just Dissidia is the one that people really, really want to be valid, because it makes a lot of characters way stronger than they actually are. I'll have more time to talk about that later, though. But yeah, so I've made my case for this Cloud stomps unrepentantly, unfortunately. I wish Link won, but Legend of Zelda and Death Battle is suffering, if I'm gonna be honest. Yeah, we basically have Peach versus Zelda, which is just unfortunate. Though, if I may be fair, actually, I've come around on that one. The logic for the episode is still horrible, but I do acknowledge that Peach probably does win. So, that's something at least, but that just makes me sadder, because it means that Zelda just doesn't have any legitimate wins. Link versus Cloud is getting overturned, Bowser versus Ganon was always wrong, Lost versus Dracula, and then losing here, just, oof, it's a bad time to be a Zelda fan. Celebrating our fucking, what was it, 35th year? Yay. Well, I will see you guys for the mid-season. I may or may not be doing the DBX, the DBX predictions of who would actually win. I might be doing them, might not. We'll see what ends up happening, because I do have, it's been very busy for me for other parts of life. So yeah, I will see you guys for the next one whenever I see you.